All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Want to talk a bit more about the Suns winning their 54th game in their 54th season on a Sunday and on the 9-year anniversary of Pope Francis becoming the first Jesuit Pope, and on a Sunday where the March Madness bracket was released, where the Arizona Wildcats are a top team this year, and also on a day where Tom Brady announced he was returning to the NFL. Want to bring all these stories together and through the word ball, ball games, basketball, football, baseball. Of course, ball also has another association besides just the thing you bounce around and shoot through a hoop and dribble and pass. The name ball relates to an ancient god. And Baal was very important to the Phoenicians. And Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns, who had this big ritual on Sunday. Again, we'll get to how all this comes together. Again, Phoenix is partly named in tribute to the ancient Phoenicians. And I just want you to see that the name Phoenix, what it originally means is sun red. And you might recall Super Bowl 54, because again, the Suns just got their 54th win in their 54th season in a very symbolic game on a Sunday. But you might recall Super Bowl 54, the Joe Montana Bowl, was the first Super Bowl that was all red. They made a big deal about that. The first time it was two red teams to ever meet in the Super Bowl. And in Gematria, sun equals 54, so does red. So sun red, Phoenix, 54th season. Doing it over the NBA's biggest star, LeBron James. Notice the score of the game was 140 to 111. If you add that score together, that's 251 combined points, which is the 54th prime number. So not only do the Suns get their 54th win in their 54th season, the score pays tribute to 54. And you see how the Lakers stayed on 29 wins and got beat by 29 points? The name Baal has Gematria 29. The sun god Baal. Baal's a Phoenician sun god. And Baal is most commonly associated with the sign Taurus. Taurus is the bull. You might recall last year, Scottie Pippen's son died at 33 on the first day of Taurus. And of course, when you think of basketball, you think of the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, who so many players' careers have emulated. And you might recall when Kobe Bryant died at 41, it was on the Pope's 41st day of his age. And we talked about how Bryant relates to sun god. He died on a Sunday. All these rituals in tribute to the sun. Kobe Bean Bryant, his full name equals 54. He died one Sunday before Super Bowl 54, the all-red Super Bowl. So, again, you have the perfect tribute to the sun in the score. You have the perfect tribute to Ball, with the Lakers staying on 29 wins and getting beat by 29 points. And notice the Suns in this game also stayed on 2,022 franchise losses, and here we are in the year 2022. Isn't that interesting? And the Suns were established in 68. Phoenix, Arizona has Gematria 68, as does Helios, the Greek and Roman name for the sun. Catholicism 68, mathematics is 68, solar system 68. Huge number that we talk about all the time in so many different ways. Actually reminds me how after 9/11, the year that plan went into motion was 68. Everything went down in 1968. 9/11, World Trade Center construction, George W. Bush, the New York Jets. It reminds me that after 9/11, the first major sports championship involved Phoenix. It was New York Yankees versus the Phoenix or Arizona Diamondbacks. But okay, if you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's based on the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. The word sun, 3 letters. S is the 19th letter. U's the 21st. N's the 14th. 19 plus 21 plus 14 is 54. If you use numerology, S becomes 1 because the numerology in 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1, so S breaks down to 1. U, the 21st letters, 2 plus 1 is 3, so U becomes 3. And the 14th letter becomes 1 plus 4 is 5. So you have 1 plus 3 plus 5, which is 9. So sun is 54 and 9. This ritual took place on the 9-year anniversary of Pope Francis becoming the first Jesuit pope. And the Jesuit order's logo is the sun. And, you know, this is their logo if you're not familiar. It's got 32 sun rays. Remember, we just saw the Dodgers win their first World Series in 32 years over the Rays. All these rituals are Jesuit. And with regards to the 54, remember, it's bigger than sports. John Carroll, whose name equals 54, established the nation's first Jesuit university, Georgetown, right after his 54th birthday. His birthday is January 8th. In 1789, he turned 54 on that day. And then on January 23rd of that same year, Georgetown was established. John Carroll, 54, right after the 54th birthday. Jesuit Order, 54. Mark of the Beast, 54. Kobe Bean Bryant, 54. Remember, Kobe's career high, 666 points. Excuse me. That would have been quite the game. That would be a record no one would touch. But Kobe's career high was in his 666th game. And see, the thing is, this is how we learn that you have to run the alphabetic order in reverse as well. So I'm going to bring up the cipher that we're talking about, Kobe Bean Bryant. And notice how when you run it in reverse, it's 81. That's how much Kobe scored in his 666th game, 81 points. And the phrase mark of the beast, it's the exact same thing, 54, 81. And again, you guys, we did gematria from 2013 through the end of 2016 without knowing the reverse cipher. But once we considered it and we started looking at it, we're like, wow, look at how this lines up with history. Look at how this lines up with the code. Look at how this lines up with all our past research. Look at what this adds to the past research. I mean, that's why people who come here and they're like, oh, he's running the alphabet order forwards and backwards. Seems like making all these noises that they don't need to make, animal farm noises. Again, you weren't here researching for 3 years. Do you think stuff like this is just a coincidence? Because there's a million examples just like this. Of course it's not. So Kobe in his 666th game does that. Well, where's 666 fit in with this ritual? The Lakers. LeBron. It was his 666th career road game in this game. And check it out. LeBron's in his 19th season, right? His 19th season. In tarot cards, remember, tarot cards go back to the 16th century in Italy, which is the same time period the Jesuits were created, the same time the English language was standardized with the spellings we use today, and the same time the Gregorian calendar rolled out, where all of this stuff's been synced up. The Gregorian calendar, the English language, tarot cards. The oldest known English script that still exists is credited to the monk Burfirth of the Catholic Church in Ramsey Abbey. You know, the Gregorian calendar is clearly credited to Pope Gregory the 13th. 13. Think about it. 13. The 12 months in the sun, dictated by the sun, right? Jesus and the 12 disciples. 13 stripes next to a bunch of stars. Stars are astrology, right? Stars, astrology. 13, the zodiac. Every 13th year, you're back to the first year, right? You got to go through all 12 years, and then in the 13th year, you start all over. But it's LeBron's 19th season. They've been doing all this 19 stuff with LeBron. The Suns do this ritual against LeBron in his 666th career road game. Again, the 19th tarot card is the Sun card. Think about COVID-19. They continue to call it that through all these years. There was a new dominant strain in 2020. There was a new dominant strain in 2021. Have they changed it to COVID-20 or COVID-21? No, they have not. They've kept it at COVID-19. And it was originally coronavirus, like how they buried Kobe in Corona Del Mar at the start of it. And again, corona, it's a term that relates to what happens in the time of a solar eclipse. And don't forget that the COVID vaccine went live in the US December 14th. Funny they chose that day for a lot of reasons, but that was the day in 2020 when it went live that there was a total solar eclipse in Pope Francis's native Argentina. So get it? LeBron's 19th season, the Suns' 54th season, the 54th win over LeBron in his 19th season, and on a Sunday, right? It's amazing how many people don't know that the 7 days of the week are named after the 7 classical planets, which includes the moon and the sun. The 7 classical planets are the things you can see from Earth with your naked eye. The wandering stars that we now call planets, and the sun and the moon. And let's just go through in case you don't know it. Monday named after the moon, Tuesday named after Mars, Wednesday named after Mercury, Thursday named after Jupiter. That's our favorite day. Friday named after Venus, Saturday named after Saturn. Okay. Now, with regards to this being LeBron's 666th career game, here was his record at the conclusion of that game: 368 and 298. 666 total road games after losing to the Suns. Now, notice the Jesuit logo IHS. Easy. I is the 9th letter, H is the 8th, S is the 19th. So 9 plus 8 plus 19 is 9 plus 8 is 17, plus 19 more is 36. 666 is the 36th triangular number, right? 666 is the 36th triangular number. So this is where the 666 fits in with the Jesuit ritual on this Sunday. See how perfect it all is? Tarot cards go back to Italy at the time of the Jesuits originating. The Jesuits have encoded the language. The Jesuits have synced up the rituals. If you're wondering something like why 54 would be encoded in the sun, again, the other planet that's really important to the occult, they're all important, but I do believe that the most important planet to the occult outside of the sun and the moon, and again, so it's like, those aren't planets. Again, they're classical planets, is Saturn. Saturn's the keeper of time. You get the best view of Earth. You get the best view of Saturn from Earth every 54 weeks. That's the way the orbital period works out. And keep in mind, the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, he's born on Saturnalia. So think about that. But again, it all comes together so perfectly here. The 54 fits in, connecting to the sun. The 19 fits in, connecting to the sun. The 666 fits in, connecting with the Jesuits and their logo that is the sun. And again, Baal, I'm not going to claim to be an expert on Baal, but I understand Phoenician sun god. I understand that much. Some people say that Baal is like the true Satan, and that all that's up for argument. But again, 666 is associated with the number of the beast, so you could make that argument through there. But I'm not going to claim to be an expert in Baal, but I can appreciate that Baal's a Phoenician sun god, and Phoenix is named in part tribute to Phoenicia. So how all this comes together, right? This is pretty elementary to understand if you just look at it all. And keep in mind the Jesuit motto, what the IHS stands for in the most pure cipher, Isus hominum salvator, is 85. Pope Francis is 85 right now. Just had the monster riddles in college basketball on his 85th day of his age. Isus is 19. That's the original name for Jesus before they invented J. So the original King James Bible, Jesus wasn't written as Jesus. He was written as Isus back in 1611. The J wasn't quite here yet. And again, it's interesting because there's parallels in the Bible between Jesus and Lucifer. They're both referred to as morning stars. The sun can be referred to as the morning star. Jesus, the Son of God. Sun, the name for the object in the sky, a male offspring. It's funny how the English language does that, right? The Catholic Church was originally a pagan sun cult. Remember, if you don't use numerology, Isus hominum salvator equals 274. And that matters because the Catholic Church began celebrating the birthday of the sun, Sol Invictus, in the year 274 AD. 274, Isus hominum salvator, 274. If you run it in reverse, it's 266. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit Pope, the 266th Pope. Spoke in D.C. on the 266th day of the year. But again, this ritual comes while Pope Francis is 85, and this ritual comes on the 9-year anniversary of him being Pope, right? The 9-year anniversary. Sun is 9. Holy Bible equals 45, the 9th triangular number. The Greeks wrote the New Testament, the part about Jesus. This is the Society of Jesus. The Greeks were into mathematics. The Greeks believed that God was a master mathematician. Gematria means geometry and language. You still learn all the Greek names when you go to geometry class, especially Pythagoras, Euclid, these names. And Pythagoras thought 9 represented God because of the magic of 9. If you multiply any number times 9, it takes on a numerology of 9. If you add 9 to any number, its numerology does not change. You have the counting trick with your fingers. If you put your fingers up in front of your face like this, and there's the counting trick. If you multiply 9 times 1, you just put down your first finger. So from your direction, you look at your fingers, you got 9 fingers up. So 1 times 9 is 9. If you multiply 9 times 2, the number is 18. So with your fingers, you have 1 right here, which represents the 1 in the tens place. And then you have 8 fingers right here, which represents the 8 in the ones place. 18, 9 times 2. You put down this finger because it's your second finger. 9 times 3 is 27, right? So you have your 2 fingers in the tens place, and you have 7 right here, 27. This is true for every finger. Put down your fourth finger, 9 times 4 is 36. You have 3, 6. That's part of the reason we do base 10 counting, because we have 10 digits on our finger. But these are the reasons Pythagoras thought 9 was God, just the properties of the number, how it corresponds with us as human beings. So anyway, the pagans, they worship the sun, what makes life possible on earth. The Catholic Church worships on Sunday. You're supposed to keep the Sabbath day holy, which is Saturday. But the Catholic Church converted it to Sunday, which started out as a pagan sun cult. And isn't it obvious that it never changed? That it rules by deception, that it's all about trickery and just getting more people under its umbrella to suck up their wealth, to get their money in the plate each week. And hey, if you're not going to church anymore, maybe you're going to our rigged basketball game and paying for the overpriced tickets and beers to watch the rigged competition. All roads lead to Rome. And again, this is how they operate. Trickery, deception, the game is rigged. They built the world around us. I mean, this is the thing to understand. And, is the pagan sun cult, does the roots go back all the way to Phoenicia? Probably. Again, I maintain the same people that rule today are the same clique of people who've existed since the time all this stuff began. Kabbalah, gematria, all this stuff goes back to Babylon. It's funny how Whore of Babylon equals Catholic. Many people contend the Catholic Church is the Whore of Babylon. And in light of Taurus being the true representation of the sun god, Baal, again, it's represented as a bull. Taurus is the time of the bull. Again, last year, Scottie Pippen, on the first day of Taurus. Here, let me see if I can... in case you forgot this story here, let me bring it back up again. First day of Taurus last year, April 19th, the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general of the Jesuits, this infamous day in history. His son dies at 33. And, of course, in gematria, bulls is 33, so is sun. So is Sunday. His son died on a Sunday, April 19th last year. This was last year, right? It was last year. First I was like, wait a minute, was it 2020? Time goes by so fast. But just think about it. The Chicago Bull loses his son at 33 on the first day of the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls had played 56 games at the time when this happened, and their record was 23-33. And again, Society of Jesus has that gematria of 56. This year's the Bulls' 56th season. But again, perfect ritual. Sunday Bulls Bible, all 33. And does Bible not have the word bull in it? Bible, the way we pronounce it. Bible. Bull, Taurus, sun god. Is the religion a whole trick just to get you into sun worship? I mean, how many people think Christmas is Jesus' birthday when it goes against what it says in the Bible? Christmas Day, December 25th, has always been the sun god's birthday. The unconquered sun, Sol Invictus, Mithra, Dionysus, the solar man. That's what the pagans call it. Again, it's so obvious. Here was the Bulls' record at the time, 23-33. So, and let's not forget Scottie Pippen wore 33 as well, right? 33-23, added up, 56. That was their record at the time. Bulls were 23-33 in Scottie Pippen's sun dies. You know what I mean? On Jordan's birthday this year, at the top of the PGA chart was a golfer named Scotty and another golfer named Jordan. Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler up at the top. And then at the end of the day, there was one more golfer who went, and he was 23 years old, and he ended up passing them both. But they were still in second and third place after leading all day before the golfer at the end of the day with the later round at age 23 passed them both on Jordan's birthday. And from Pippen's birthday to his son's death was 206 days. Again, that's the sacrifice number. Son died on the 4464 kill date. Antron, his son's name, 311, the 64th prime. Yeah, right. The Matrix had a good observation on that. So did Michelle Kate. So did They Call Me Coma. Yeah, and again, I mean, the more people that look at all this stuff, that just the more observations that are made. So Scottie Pippen was 55 at the time, which meant he was in his 56th year of life as well. You know. So also, again, running things forwards and backwards. This ritual happened on the 72nd day of the year. The ritual with the Suns getting their 54th win in their 54th season over LeBron happened on March 13th, the 72nd day of the year. Jesuit order, when you run it inter versus 72, the Jesuits were created on a 72 date numerology. With regards to the sun and astrology, it takes 72 years for the sun to move 1 degree on the astrological wheel. Again, you'll hear a lot of flat earthers claim that the stars never move. Well, that almost seems true, but they do. They move 1 degree every 72 years. It takes 2,160 years for them to do a full rotation. Or, excuse me. Yeah, that is right. 2,160 years. So every 72 years, the sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel. 72, huge number with so many Jesuit rituals. Again, Joe Biden became senator-elect in 72. His wife and daughter die in a clear Jesuit ritual synced up with the Pope and superior generals we talked about so many times right after he becomes senator-elect. When he was 72 years old, his son Beau Biden died at age 46, synced up with him becoming the 46th president in an election that was exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. But Jesuit order, 54 forwards, 72 in reverse. The Jesuits were created again on a 72 date numerology in Paris, which equals 72. Big number with the Jesuits. They say the bricks on the US dollar bill that has the sun on the top of it, the sun in the eye, 72 bricks on that pyramid. And keep in mind, the eye was put on the dollar bill in 35. I equals 35, Catholic 35, Holy See 35, Isus 35. The sun's birthday, 1225, Christmas Day, 1225 has a square root of 35. Okay. But again, the first Jesuit Pope also on the 72nd day of the year. And what's his name? Pope Francis. Where were the Jesuits created? In Paris, France. See how this works? With regards to what's going on in the news, Brittany Griner of the Phoenix Mercury, Mercury's the trickster. She's over supposedly captured in Russia by the numbers. I'm pretty sure this is just another psychological operations, but realize it's Phoenix again, right? It's Phoenix. Manly P. Hall said the Order of the Phoenix wanted to establish the one world democracy. All these shenanigans going on in the world are about bringing, into line the global agenda 21, agenda 2030, the Great Reset. And again, Phoenix, very symbolic at this moment. The sun's on the top of the NBA. Again, the Wildcats are back. Again, this stuff's not arbitrary. It's just how they got world affairs synced up. Last year, before the Suns, people are hating on last year's NBA work, but I don't know why. I mean, who else had the Suns to be in the Western Conference Finals at the start of the season? And again, we thought if it wasn't the Lakers, maybe the Suns. The Suns ended up being the finals. We thought if not the Nets last year, the Bucks. I mean, it ended up being Bucks and Suns. Bucks 56, Phoenix Suns 56. Huge numbers right now in the time of coronavirus. Everything's been 56. But they did the Project 201 renovation at the stadium. And remember, Mercury is the 201 element, so consider the Phoenix Mercury play here, right? Mercury's atomic weight's 201. It's the trickster. And 201 is another huge number at the Jesuits. Pope Francis' birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, 201. Pope Francis, the first pope to live in Suite, 201. The founder of, or not the founder, but Gonzaga, the top basketball program right now, Jesuit school, named after Aloysius de Gonzaga, who's 201. And where's their assistant coach coaching this year? Their assistant coach is in his rookie season as a head coach, and he's led Arizona to the top. Arizona's coach just came over from Gonzaga. And again, just the Jesuit order 201. So many huge Jesuit rituals with 201. Let's not forget LeBron was born 201 days after the 84 NBA finals, and the Jesuit order equals 201 and 84. But with regards to Phoenix being on top and this ritual being in Phoenix on the day, the anniversary of Pope Francis becoming the Pope, look at Phoenix, Arizona in the most pure cipher, 85. Just like Jesus Hominum Salvator. IHS. Jesus Hominum Salvator, 85. In reverse, it's 122. Pope Francis is 122. San Francisco is 122. San Francisco is named after St. Francis of Assisi, like Pope Francis. San Francisco's on the 122nd Meridian West. The other top team in the NBA right now is the Warriors, playing in San Francisco. But again, this ritual, while Pope is 85, right? And look at this. This is why you got to look at the base ciphers. I'm going to show you how every single gematria value of Phoenix, Arizona matters in this ritual. Phoenix, Arizona is 175. So is Pope Francis. He's 85 years old right now. In the same cipher where Phoenix, Arizona is 68, so is basketball. So is Catholicism. So is mathematics. Now, how many teams are in March Madness now? 68, right? And so is solar system. And this is what all the mathematics are based on, the sun, right? Everything is synced up with the calendar and the sun. They put it all together in the 16th century. And coming back to Phoenix, Arizona, the only one we didn't hit was 203. So where's the 203 fit in? It's in right here. Look at Devin Booker's record after winning that game and getting the Suns their 54th win in the 54th season. His record became 203 and 263. I mean, how perfect is that? 263 is the 56th prime number. Society of Jesus, 56. Phoenix Suns, 56. This is why we saw the Suns being a great team last year when no one else had them to be a great team. We knew 56 was the number. It's been the number. And again, I was thinking of before the Suns went to the finals, again, we had them facing the Lakers. Instead, they faced the Los Angeles Clippers. But I was thinking LeBron was going to get to 5 and 6 in finals last year. But, I mean, the thought wasn't that far off. And that's why out of the 4 top teams that we had up there, they all had a connection to 56. We picked 4 teams with a 56 connection. 2 of them made it. Bucks, 56. Phoenix Suns. Lakers, with the 5-6 connection had LeBron hit 5 and 6. And then the Nets, they play in the Barclays Center. And there's a few more things they did with the Nets. But anyway. Again, you understand the numbers, you see through the rituals. People who criticize the accomplishments of this community, and especially my accomplishments over the years, these are losers. What person has won more in the world of rig sports than I have in the last 8-9 years? Show me that person. I'm pretty sure they don't exist. So, and it's not just that either. It's that yours truly figured out how they rig the games and who's doing it. That's the more important piece, because that helps people free their minds from participating in this rigged bullshit. My purpose is to undermine these leagues because they're evil. They're ritually sacrificing people. They're rigging games. They're making them super exciting to fuck with people. And again, anyone who's going against me is part of the evil, period. End of discussion. So all day, every day, we'll figure it out. And as time goes on, we'll figure it out more and more. And again, if you want to join us tonight, we'll be trying to replicate what we've done in years past in March Madness, taking advantage of the big upsets, piecing the bracket together before it happens. So 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Again, easy way to get to my Patreon is if you go to my website, gematriaeffect.news. There's just a link to click on for Patreon. As a heads up, I think it's a form of censorship, but usually when you click on my Patreon link, sometimes it'll say like page couldn't load. I often have to reload my Patreon page 4 or 5 times before I can get in there. It's one of the most annoying things about it, but it does work. And once you're in, you're in. So anyway, let me see. Oh, I do want to say one more thing. About this before I sign off. Okay. So I was thinking more about this on the day that the Suns did this. Tom Brady announced his return to NFL. His 40 days of retirement were over. 40, biblical number. 40 days and 40 nights. A lot of 40 in the Bible. But Brady, he had a big Super Bowl in Arizona. You might recall Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl 49. That was the 45th of the modern era. New England equals 45 forwards and backwards, like Holy Bible. Show you that about Brady and New England. New England, 45 forwards and backwards. Holy Bible, 45 forwards and backwards. The ninth triangular number. The Greeks, 9, God. The word holy comes from holly, and holly branches, were connected to God through the pagans. Just another thought there. But Hollywood. Anyway, the last Super Bowl in Phoenix, it's technically in Glendale, the suburb of Phoenix, but was Super Bowl 49. And that's the one where Russell Wilson forgot to hand off to Marshawn Lynch, and then Tom Brady won the Super Bowl because of that. Another scripted ring for him. But that was the last one in Arizona, right? And the big football news before Brady returned was Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos. And again, this is why you got to know it forwards and backwards. Seattle Seahawks in the most pure is 43, right? They won the Super Bowl over Broncos with 43 points. And if you just run Seahawks in reverse, it's 48. That was Super Bowl 48. And if you write out Seattle, Washington, it's 94. That was the 94th NFL season. It's also got that 68 in it, like how Russell Wilson was drafted by the Colorado Rockies on June 8th, and then his dad died the next day, coincidentally. But Denver is also 68 and 94. So the 94th NFL season was Seattle over Denver. Russell Wilson's grandpa dies at 94. His dad dies after he gets signed on June 8th. Now he ends up on that team. And just think about, the Broncos and, riding off into the sunset. Mahomes went to Colorado, where Denver is, on March 8th, 8/3 in the most simple cipher. Colorado's 83 like football. Tom Brady's birthday is August 3rd, 8/3, and he wants one more Super Bowl win after what he saw Ronaldo do by the numbers on the high point pinnacle date of the Ignatian year, March 12th, the day in history Ignatius Loyola was made a saint. But Brady wants to get to 8-3 in Super Bowls, born on 8/3. And if he did it against Colorado, wouldn't that remind kind of what Peyton Manning did? Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year with Colorado. The golden anniversary. Remember, gold is 38. That was hosted by the 49ers, named after the gold rush. But, this is a narrative that has legs. So does this mean go bet your whole house right now on Brady over the Broncos? No, but does it mean look into the odds and see what kind of payout you can get and maybe do a small investment on it now? And if it looks better by the time the season starts rolling, put a little more down. That's the way I play. But notice how Colorado's 83 and 133 and 43 while you're at it. Look at football when I write it in. 83, 133, 43, right? Brady came back on what day? March 13th, 13/3, right? Huge rituals going on in this day. We know the Jesuits run the whole world of scripted sports, and he comes back on the 9-year anniversary of Pope. Let's hope that he's not going to end up winning a 9th Super Bowl. Good God. But I'd like to think that I would love to see Brady just get to 8-3 and then just get out of the league for good. Who isn't sick of this guy? But if he does it against the Broncos, remember the best draft class in the history of the NFL, they say was the 83 class. John Elway in that team or in that class, who now manages the Broncos. Could history repeat itself? In light of Russell Wilson signing on the 8th of March, think about it. Super Bowl 49 was Russell Wilson losing to Brady because he didn't hand off. 8 years later, Super Bowl 57, and it's back in Arizona. So Brady coming back, makes things a little bit interesting. But again, there's a narrative here. So, and again, the smart thing to do is if you see potential narratives of the Super Bowl, it's just like roulette. If numbers are hitting on the roulette wheel, you cover those spaces. As long as you have those spaces covered and your prop bet hits, then you come out ahead. It's like last year with the World Series. At the start of the season, I took 4 teams, and then midway through the season, I thought the Yankees had a chance too. So we covered 5 spaces on the roulette wheel for baseball last year. And we covered the Braves before the season began when they had 20-1 or better odds, depending on what book you had. But at worst, you got 20-1 on the Braves. We covered the Braves at the start of the year because they were one of the teams with a connection to 117 for the 117th World Series. So again, let's just say you put down $100 on all 5 of the roulette spaces I said to put them down on last year. You won at least $2,000 at the end of the season. So you got your 100 back that you put on the Braves in 2,000. So that's 2,100. And then you lost 4 $100 bills on the other 4 spaces you covered. So you came out plus 1,700. And, dummies in the community will say, oh, you had to take multiple teams to get it. It's like, okay, was it a winning strategy? Oh, it was. It was a big time winning strategy. I mean, had you take a financial investor's advice and multiplied your money times 17 in a year, would you be uploading videos about how that person's a shill and a fraud and scamming people, charging them $5 a month? It's like, well, those people paid $60 for the whole year subscription. They hit on, this tournament, this horse race, all these games. For all the people still going, well, your Super Bowl pick wasn't right this year. Actually, it was. I had you guys on the winning side, the Bengals, and I did give you Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown, which paid 9-1. So yeah, it was a winning Super Bowl again. If you took my advice, still came out ahead. That's the name of the game. But I mean, even since the Super Bowl, what have we done? We've decimated basketball. Look at my winning percentage since the Super Bowl in college and NBA. I mean, it's been a lot of winning. So, I mean, again, all the people out there making videos saying I'm a fraud and a scammer, these people are truly dishonest, deceitful people. I charge a rock bottom price for some of the best knowledge in the world. And again, if you can't afford $5 a month for what I'm teaching, well, and if you don't want to gamble, I understand. Because I mean, most of the stuff I put on my Patreon page is for people who want to bet on sports. And if you don't want to participate in that, totally understood. But at the same time, all the people who aren't supporting this work, it's the reason we haven't gotten to the milestones we need to get to build up the resources we need to get this work out and change the world. It's not just about gambling. It's definitely not just about gambling. It's about ending the evil and the agendas. Like I said when I first started years ago, you don't stop this evil cabal, it's going to be real ugly by 2020. And was I wrong? Nope. I was dead on the money. And why did I know 2020? Because it was 19 years after 9/11, and these people are all about 19. The 19-year cycle of the moon, the sun, the 19th tarot card, the chaos code in 19, and look at what they brought us 19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers. They brought us COVID-19, order out of chaos. It's not an accident that World War II began on 1/9, the first day of the 9th month. These people are super repetitive. And anyhow, we'll leave it there for now, you guys. I'll be working the rest of the day up until the live stream. If you are on my Patreon, I did put out notes yesterday for the tournament. There's a lot of good information there already, but I still need to do some more grinding on it. See if I can find some more underdog gems. But 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, that's when we'll be on for our first March Madness decode. And we'll continue to decode it throughout the tournament. So first broadcast, though, tonight. And hope to see you there. Till next time, Truth Seeker.